right, we're live on YouTube, guys. So shout out to my people that's up in the space right now. Shout out to everybody that's going to be coming through as well, too. I can't see everybody up in the space, guys. So give me 1 second. Let me see if I can clear something out. Let me see if I can clear something out real quick because I cannot see everybody up in the space. So let me make sure we got everything rolling well up in here. Okay, now I can see you guys up in the space. If you guys can hear me, let me know if everything, if you can hear the audio, let me know that we're good. That Negro, can you hear me? John, can you hear me? Israel, can you guys hear me? If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that the audio is cool. Tech, that Negro, if you guys can hear me up in the space, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that the audio is good. Let me know that I can be heard up in the space. Anybody, if you guys can hear me? Okay, good. What's up? I see Quadir coming up in there. Shout out to my man Nightfall over there on YouTube as well, too. So shout out to my faithful homeboy Nightfall up in the spot as well, too. Okay, Israel, you requested, but then I don't know if it dropped you back down. Can you hear me, Israel? You there, Israel?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, brother. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Peace to everybody in the chat. Hope y'all had a blessed day, blessed week.
Absolutely.
And you can go ahead and take your mic.
Okay, I thought you want to say something real quick, but okay, shout out to you, brother.
I just popped in a second ago because I looked at the clock and I said, let me go ahead and hop on here right quick. And I didn't even catch anything, so I just happened to pick my phone up and I went on X and there y'all were. So here I am.
No problem. Shout out to you. Definitely glad to have you guys. We're back. We're in the Newstoter /X space. I see. Shout out to all my people over there on YouTube, guys. Y'all see what the conversation is tonight. Y'all know it's the first night of the DNC convention. The Democrats, they have center stage. They have some heavy hitters coming out to speak for them this week. I believe they have the Clintons. They have the Obamas. I believe they have Jasmine Crockett. Of course, they got Joe Biden. They have AOC. They have Jim Clyburn, I believe. I cannot remember if Nancy Pelosi's speaking. I'm not positive, but I believe she may be speaking as well too in the actual convention as well too. I think Israel, you got to mute your mic. I think your mic might be open. Yeah, so we got a bunch of big speakers coming up in the DNC tonight and this week. So guys, expect to see a bunch of big speakers in there. Of course, I know you guys also saw the actual rundown with Roland Martin and Jamal Green that was captured. Apparently, they had a back and forth. They were going back and forth on X, and I guess Jamal must have pulled up. And, they were kind of face to face there. So, I don't know exactly all what happened on that, but, they were face to face, little issue popping off or whatever. We know how crazy things are on these spaces. And sometimes things lead out to, in real life, nobody want to see nobody get hurt, nobody get harmed or whatever. If these gentlemen have a difference of agreement, that's fine. But we don't want to see anybody get harmed or hurt. We don't want to see anybody get harmed or hurt. So definitely, shout out. Guys, I don't know because I see people popping in and out. So I'm assuming the connection on X is okay over here, guys. I'm assuming I see people popping in, popping out. So I'm not entirely sure. That Negro, how was your connection? Did you have any issues getting on?
No, I tapped out for a second, but no, I ain't seen no issues. Nope.
Okay, cause yeah, we got a bunch of people coming in and coming out or whatever. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm hoping. Normally, our people will be up in here, but I see people coming in and out or whatever. Normally, when that's happening, they had an update on X today. So, guys, make sure you guys stay up to date. I'm gonna start tweeting out when they start having these updates as well too. But a lot of times people phone ain't updated, and if your phone ain't updated, you're gonna be popping in and out these spaces as well too when they do actually go ahead and they actually do update. Nightfall says, good, it's about time someone strolled up to Roland and made him accountable for his words and action. If you're not part of the solution for the Black community, you're part of the problem. I think Roland is just used to pretty much just getting his way online and stuff like that. Roland's been on he's been on TV for a long time. I remember back in the day when he was on CNN, and then he was on TV One, and then he has his own little podcast and this and that. So he's pretty much used to saying what he wants to say or whatever. I guess it was some kickback with him and the brother Jamal Green. I don't know Jamal like that or whatever, but apparently from what Jamal said, Roland came onto his came onto his thread. This is what he said. Came onto his thread and started calling him names and everything else as well too. And he fired back. I believe I saw Roland talked about blocking him as well too. I think he may have blocked him as well too. So he blocked him, and I'm not entirely sure all what happened on that or whatever. But like I said, I see everybody popping in and popping out as well too. So I'm hoping that the actual I'm hoping the connection issues on X are okay or whatever. But apparently he popped on them or whatever. They got into it. I saw it was an older lady when they were face to face. Older lady was calling for security. And like I say, you don't want to see anything physically happen. You don't want to see anything, get to that point where people get hurt, anything like that. Behind a disagreement, we're gonna have disagreements. We're not gonna all agree on the same politics. Roland is pretty much Roland makes it no secret that he's gonna be a diehard Democrat, and not everybody's gonna ride with that as well too. So you have to kind of just take it for what it is or whatever. So I'm just seeing a bunch of our people pop in and pop out. I'm just really, really thinking, like, I know when that normally happens in these spaces, it's normally a connection issue on one end or something like that. So anybody, if Ty James, if you guys are having any issues, connection issues, leave a comment in the little purple pill or whatever. Leave a little comment, let us know, because sometimes I have to restart these spaces up. I have to go ahead and restart these spaces up. And when I do that, then everybody's able to come up in the space with no issues or whatever. So I don't know exactly what's going on, because I am seeing people pop in and pop out. And I know for a fact, like I said, they had the updates today as well too. So, because I'm seriously thinking about restarting this space up, because I'm just seeing people. It's like people here 1 second, the next second they gone. So, I think it may be an issue with the actual. I don't want to say the actual because I know they had the updates today, but it seems like everybody's popping in and popping out. So, I'm not entirely sure exactly what's going on with the connection issues that some of our people, I think they may be having some connection issues here. So just trying to see, guys, real quick, because I may go ahead and restart this space up just to make sure that, everybody's able to hear. Rella, if you're having any connection issues, let me know too. I see somebody, let's see if anybody, I don't know about the rest, but I can't hear you for some reason. Okay, James, I know they had updates today as well too. So that could be it. That could be an issue. I tell you what I'm gonna do real quick, guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and restart this space up, and then I'll be right back. So give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna restart the space up, and we're gonna start right back. I'll be right back. So let me go ahead and restart this space up. Let me restart the space. Yeah, guys, these spaces on X are like a piece of what. Like it's just garbage, man. I don't know what's up with the spaces on here, but it's just garbage. So we're gonna go ahead and start this thing back up. We started back up, get our people back in here. We back live again. From the people, of course, on YouTube, you guys already know we're live, but the folks on X was having some issues coming into space, so I just went ahead and shut that down real quick and started back up. We're back here in the Newstoter space here on X. Of course, we're doing the simulcast. We're also on YouTube as well. My people on YouTube, they're not having any issues. It's my people. We had a damn issue with the StreamYard the other day as well too. So that I had an actual video on Wednesday, guys, and it never did air. So we're back. Hopefully our people hopefully I just restarted another space, so hopefully our people will come up in here and they won't have any issues. James, I see you said that you're good or whatever, guys. So shout out to James. James is over there on YouTube right now listening. So we're gonna try to get our people back up in here as much as possible, get this thing rolling. We're talking about the Democratic National Convention. We're talking about Michael Eric Dyson. I don't know what Michael Eric Dyson was up here crying and whining to black women, and he's sitting up here trying to somehow shoehorn Kamala Harris in it, and it was just basically an apology note. And I'm sorry. Like, dude, if you feel that way, just say, hey, black women, I like to talk, but it's always about about calling her name wrong. Her name is Kamala. She mispronounced. I guess the white lady was on CNN and spelled and said her name wrong way or something. He talked about Shamika and all this other kind of stuff as well too. Michael Eric Dyson, it's politicking time. So Michael Eric Dyson is out in full effect. Like we was talking about Roland Martin. Roland Martin got checked by Jamal Green. Jamal Green and him must have had a back and forth. Apparently, I saw something where Roland said that he blocked him as well too, because I guess he must have called Roland a coon. So, they had their back and forth, going back and forth and everything else. Guys, retweet this new space out for me as well, too. Let everybody know that we're live. Retweet this new space out. Let everybody know where we're at, so we can go ahead. People was having some connection issues, it looks like. So I want to make sure I restart it. If anybody's having connection issues this time, that means it's more than likely you have to go ahead and update. There was a new update today for X, guys. So there was a new update. Keep your phones updated as much as possible. But Roland Martin and the Green Cat, they were going at it or whatever. I'm not exactly sure how it all started, but apparently it was an issue about, I guess, a certain way. I even heard it was something about home loans or something like that. And Roland Martin, sometimes Roland just don't come and say, hey, you know what, I disagree with what you're saying or whatever. You start name calling people and calling them dumb and stupid and this and that or whatever, then people gonna fire back. You get up and especially if you come in somebody's comments, and you start calling them names and stuff like that, which people have a bad habit of doing online. Instead of sitting up here talking like a man or talking like a woman, they want to sit up here and chastise somebody and nitpick and call them all kind of different names, things that you wouldn't do if you were face to face with somebody in real life. You feel a need to be disrespectful online. So, if the brother felt he was being disrespected, he went up there to the actual event that Roland was at. And like I say, we're not preaching violence here. So thank God nothing popped off serious. I would hate to see, a black man get arrested behind something like that. That could be, that you could just easily walk away from. So I definitely don't want to see any fisticuffs, anything like that. It'd be nice if they could have had a sit down and had an actual discussion, and they could have kind of, not say hashed out, but went ahead and pretty much gave their political points on certain issues or whatever. But, that didn't happen. And maybe, just maybe, a lot of people are feeling right now, there's this election right here has a lot of pressure, I think, on a lot of people in this community. I don't want to say that they're splitting the community up, because I truly believe that most of the people are still going to vote. Most black people are still going to vote Democrat no matter what. So it's not splitting it up, but it is making some uneasy feelings or some tension between certain men and certain women within the dynamics of the Black American race. There are some hard feelings being shared. Certain people feel like, hey, you know what? They constantly calling black men out daily, and they're using other black men to do it. They're using other black men to go ahead and sit here and tell you how dumb you are, how stupid you are, how you don't support this and that or whatever, that you're weak, all the support and love that black women gave you. And now it's your time to go ahead and to reciprocate that love, and you're not doing it. And the crazy thing about it is that the same person that you're talking about is not even married to a black man. If you want to be honest about that, people forget that Kamala Harris' husband, and she's free to marry whoever she wants to marry or date or have kids, fine or whatever. But to sit up here and talk about this, that you have to protect this black woman and this and that or whatever, I'm going to be honest with you. Most black women I know, they claim blackness their entire life. They claim blackness their entire life, and they didn't do it just when it was convenient for them as well, too. So to sit up here and say, hey, you got to go ahead and you got to do this and do that or whatever, hey, people are going to vote for who they want to vote for, straight up. There's a bunch of people that I'm related to and know going to vote for Kamala Harris simply because she's a Democrat. And I'm not going to sit up here and try to persuade them or whatever, because forget these little conventions you see and all of the other all of the polling and everything. People know who they're going to vote for. Everybody in this space knows that when you vote, who you're going to vote for. It's no big surprise. You're not going to walk up to the ballot on election day and say, you know what, I'm undecided. I just don't know. I need to let's pull straws in this. You already know right to this point. If you're going to vote and who you're going to vote for. If it's going to be Trump or Kamala. It's no secret. It's no surprise. It's none of that. So the fact of the matter that, yeah, we can have these conventions. We can have these rallies. We can have the $1 billion commercials that they're going to be spending money on and this and that or whatever. But at the end of the day, every single solitary person online, every single solitary person in your family already knows. I would say probably the percentage of people who actually don't know who they're going to vote for is so minuscule that it's not even worth even mentioning. Most people know who they're going to vote for, straight up. I see we got Brother Moku and You Permit up here. Either one of you got your hands up or one of you guys want to speak? What about you, Moku? I saw you brought you up here.
What's up? What's going on? Shout out to everybody in the room. I was just coming up listening to you cook, because I know you always want to chop into the stories or the topics, and I've been hearing about this Roland Martin toboggan, so I'm just waiting for you to chop it up and get into it. So I'm here. What's up, Newstoter?
What's going on, man? I didn't tonight is a story free, because tonight, I normally break down the articles and we talk on that or whatever, but tonight, nah, Moku, we just sitting up here. We just sitting up here discussing the actual convention. We're sitting up here and we're talking about Michael Eric Dyson and his love letter note to black women, and he was sitting up here and apologizing for black men, everything that they do to black women, this and that or whatever. But hey, if that's what you want to do, fine. But like I say, at the same time, the person that we I don't know. To me, like I say, the black women I know, they claim that they whole life. They didn't even have to claim it. They were just black. Like I say, and now we got to sit up here. And the fact of the matter that we have to defend this, you have to defend this person's race or whatever, and ideology and all this other stuff. And then you want to sit up here and promote. And then Essence had a cover the other day, and I tweeted that out, and they were saying something about your grandmother and Kamala Harris. I'm like, man, if y'all don't stop, y'all are severely reaching right here. Like, no.
Reaching for the straws.
I'm from Florida, from the Panhandle at that. I had a country grandma. No, just stop that. No, what are you talking about? No, my grandma, she was black. And we didn't have to, and they talked about her having Indian in her and everything else and all that, about her mother having the Creek Indian, all that other kind of stuff. And she still was a black woman. It was all this other, no, what are we talking about right here? It was no, well, I might be this and I might, no, she was black and she lived black. She had a black existence all the way till she had a black death. No, that's no, when I see Kamala Harris and Essence can pump it up all they want to, that's not my grandma. That's not what my grandma embodied. So, I mean, if your grandma embodied it, no disrespect to you or your grandma, but no, I had a country grandma. I seen my grandma wring chickens' necks and everything else like that. I seen her out there in the field and whatnot, shucking peas and all that kind of no.
Washing greens in the sink, not the bathtub.
No, my grandma would have slapped the hell out you. Talk about washing some damn greens in a damn tub. It better be one of them it better be one of those steel tubs that they have around the house like that. It better not be no bathtub where everybody's sitting up there taking a bath in.
Total. That's how she got confused. See, when you had excessive amount of greens, it was washing in that tub. That big ass tub outdoors. That wasn't a
metal steel tub, bro.
That steel tub. So you can tell, and black folks, they will pick that shit up because
try not to drop the S word, but go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that. Black people didn't pick that up. We never washed greens in a bathtub. It was in the tub, that big metal tub.
It's called a number 3 tub. Just let everybody know.
Oh, number 3.
We used to call it a foot tub. We used to call it a foot tub.
All right. Well, my people from Mississippi, so they just called it that tub over there.
Yeah, just that round steel tub. That round steel tub.
We know what they're talking about when they say that.
Right. Not one sits behind and the other one, yeah. But that's why that's what they play with Roland Martin. Good for him. You know, you're calling people out your name. You know, in front of white folks, you want to call us stupid and they can kiss my ass and all that stuff. That stuff he always spills out. They caught up to him, talking reckless. And you know what? If he was man enough to his word, he would have stood there and had a conversation. But see, he had to let his people jump in front of him. Michael Eric Dyson, he don't talk for me. Whenever you can't hold 10 toes down for your people like Michael Eric Dyson flip-flops. He always, 1 minute he's act like he's for black people, the next minute he on some other garbage. They're not our mouthpieces anymore. The DNC, you know, I tell people this. With Kamala Harris, Obama, I tell them this. Okay, y'all can support them, but they're not like me and my grandparents. My mother and her mother, my father and her father can't have the same conversation growing up in the South. They didn't have to run from white, you know, have dealing with the KKK, racism, white supremacy growing up in Mississippi. So if they can't have that same level of conversation with my people, why should I consider them one of my people? Period. And once you tell them that, that's when the conversation changes. All you got to do is say, her grandparents and my grandparents can't engage in the same conversation. That ends it right there. The blackness, the Indian, this one Jamaican, this one Caribbean from California, Canada, they can't have the same conversation with our grandparents. What are we talking about? Once you say that, they're done. And I'm like,
all right, appreciate that. Thank you. You permit. Moku, we got you up here. We got Black Pressure up here. We got Ray up here. We got G Money. Who wants to speak? Just go ahead and put your hand up. We'll shout out to my boy Professor up here.
Have you heard anything about the Palestinians crashing the gates out there?
Yeah. I was watching the news shortly. I was doing something. I was watching the CBS News, and they thought they were worried about the Palestinians outside and stuff like crashing. And I told my dad, I'm like, what's up with this here? Like the Palestinians up here crashing. Like, yo, I think they done let a little bit go too far now, because if this was Negroes up here talking about crashing at one of these conventions right here, they'd be outside with riot gear outside. Now you got the Palestinians like, man, we tired of hearing about this stuff right here, man. Y'all go over there and y'all take care of your own business. You know, I hated that y'all going through this and that or whatever, but damn, come on. Like, yeah, I heard that, man. Like, I don't know what's up with that.
Oh, they're going to get policy. They can really get a policy. They can get a policy right before. I'm giving the type of reparations for the harms done over to them over there. Watch Rashida Tlaib in Detroit, in Michigan. Remember, she voted non-contest in the primaries, and she said she ain't gonna vote until they do something for the people of Palestine. Watch how that plays out. I guarantee you they're gonna get some type of policy.
Oh, so you mean to tell me that the Palestinians are holding their vote until they see some tangibles? Well, why is it that we can't fucking fall into that category as well?
Hey, real quick, everybody. I'm gonna say everybody because we're streaming this live. Everybody, be careful of the language. Let's try not to. I don't mind the A word, anything, but let's try not to hit the F and the S. But go ahead, G Money, and I'm gonna get the Moku and Ray. I got you up here. Pressure, I see you up here as well too. Shout out, I see my girl Trouble down there as well too. But go ahead, G Money, you got it.
Yeah, just piggybacking off of you permit and the Rashida Tlaib situation. It's like, you know, when you hear that, I want to understand what black people hear when they hear somebody say that. Like, we're not voting until we see some change for Palestine. Well, you know, people applaud that.
but when we say it, motherfuckers, oh shit.
Oh yeah. You doing a lot there, bro. Yeah. We streaming this. Yeah. You doing a lot there, G Money. Let me
My bad. Totally disrespectful. My bad. Part itself. But people are totally exploding and blowing up on people as if, we're wrong to say, hold on, man, the couch might be the best solution right now because there's nothing being offered for us. So, there's little minor tangent little tangible things like immigration, but I mean, that's not enough. That's just not enough for me. Immigration is a universal situation. It helps us all. It doesn't help us specifically, but it helps us all. So I need to see some specifics from either party if they're gonna produce anything for us, and if not, then I think it's admirable and suitable to just vote out, because at this point, what is your vote? Is it currency? Is it a barter system? But something has to be traded for that vote. And if nothing's being traded, then hold your vote. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I look at it as money. If I'm spending money, what am I spending it on? Am I spending it on a bag of air? That's what the Democrats are offering. Or am I spending on a bag of rocks? That's what the Republicans are offering. Either which way, it's a nothing burger. It's nothing. It's useless. It's worthless. So my vote is worth it. So I'm gonna hold out, man. I think we should do that, and I think we should take a piece from that sister and say, hey, if there's nothing tangible, what are we doing? We're gonna hold our vote, and I think black people should do that at this point. Go ahead. My bad.
All right. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to we got who was it? Mocha was next, and Ray. We'll get back to you. You permit as well too. Go ahead, Mocha.
I'm gonna just say, yeah, I'm down with G Money. Mine's the curse word.
Mocha, you low. Can we get you loud if possible?
Say that again.
So you kind of low. Can we get you a little bit louder if possible?
Volume's on 10. I'm on the phone. I don't have a Bluetooth on.
That's cool. Go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
All right. Well, yeah. So yeah, I'm with G Money. 10 toes down. Minus the cuss words on this. And he's right. When someone else holds their vote, then it's oh yeah, okay for them, and they're doing the right thing. Go on, buddy. But when the victims of racism, white supremacy hold our vote, it's oh no, bad victim. What are you doing? And try to smack us with the newspaper. And and that's he's not going for the banana in the tailpipe, right, baby? Yeah, that's my anyway saying she ain't going for the banana in the tailpipe either. But with Kamala, to your point, told her, yeah, my grandmother was country too. Black ain't never, claim it on. She claimed it 100%. She ain't never claimed it when, convenient or nothing like that. It was 100% of the time. But they must have thought that we fell on a stupid stick when we were saying that we got Indian in our blood. They thought we meant, oh, Kamala. So, joke on them. You know what I'm saying? We know who our grandmother's great-grandmother's great-great-great-grandmother is, right? You know what I'm saying? We know who they are. So, shout out to our ancestors for keeping it 100. Not letting that. Thanks for letting me speak.
All right. Thank you, Moku. Let me go ahead and get to Ray, and I'm going to get to you, Roland, and I'm going to get back to you. You permit as well, too. Go ahead, Ray.
What's going on, everybody? I'm going to be real quick. I was just going to see if anyone's heard of this DNC. Said the official DNC platform is advocating for the passage of U.S. Citizens Act H.R. 3194 to grant millions of migrants citizenship. So we already see that's the first thing they got on their platform. I just want to let everyone know about that. I'm in there.
Thank you, Ray. I know your boy's supposed to be speaking up there this week as well too. Brandon Johnson as well too. So you got they got some of the major heavy hitters coming into the DNC that's going to be speaking. Of course, like I said, Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, the one with all the migrants and stuff.
My boy, I don't know him.
No, I'm just, we was just saying my boy just as a way of speech. But yeah, but no.
Don't give me a hard time. I know what you meant.
But Brandon Johnson, and we've did spaces on Brandon Johnson, and Brandon Johnson straight up tell you what the time it is when it comes to those immigrants coming in there as well too. So that's not surprising. Matter of fact, like I said, you got some heavy hitters in the DNC that's going to be coming. You got the Obamas, you got the Clintons, you got Jim Clyburn. Of course, we know basically Joe's supposed to go ahead and hand over the reins officially to Kamala Harris as well too. I can't remember if Nancy Pelosi gonna be speaking. Everybody's favorite new black politician, female politician, Jasmine Crockett's gonna be there. So it's gonna be quite the show. I don't know what entertainers they're gonna have coming up there as well. But I mean, it wouldn't be a DNC convention if we don't have some black entertainers up there as well too. So this ought to be pretty interesting to say the least. Let me go ahead and get to go ahead, Rella. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Newstoter, can you let me go after somebody else? The dog just threw up, so I got to clean it up.
What kind of dog you got?
She's
I got one too.
she's like a Christian terrier. I don't know why.
Oh Lord. Yeah. You go ahead and you take care of that. That's right. That's what we need to go back to the old school black folks. Back in the day, the dogs lived outside. So if they threw up, they just throw up outside. But let me go ahead and get to you permit. You permit, you got it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, talking to vote, get things we do vote. Look at Elon Omar in Minnesota. Why was she able to win her? New York lost his, and why did Corey Bush and St. Louis lost hers? You know why? Elon Omar took care of her people. See, when she was able to change the state flag was a little thing. But remember, a couple months ago, they had that big arrest of about 25 Somalian people who got caught up with that government fraud stuff, where they received money from PPP loans, and they was writing off those loans. I mean, that money for all these fake businesses. And a lot of them got caught up and had to get deported. So in order for them to get caught up with all that money, it's like over $25 million, somebody had to sign off on that for them. And in order for who got that money signed off for that group of people, for them to take advantage of the system, break the system, and then get caught up in the system and I think some of them have to get deported. But look at what happened. Who signed off on giving them $25+ million? Elon Omar was part of that, getting that money for her people. Now, the reason why Elon Omar won her seat back, because she won number one.
Hey, you permit? Can we get you up a little bit louder if possible?
Yeah, hold on. How about now?
It's pretty much about the same. You got a headset on? Anything?
Nah.
Go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say that. See, Elon Omar won her seat back because she took care of the people in Minnesota, and also too, she never forgot her Somalian community that got her there. So every time Elon Omar spoke about things needed, she always kept her Somalian community in the forefront next to everybody else as well. Now, Jamal Bowman and Corey Bush, they failed on that part. The same people who put those two in office are the same ones who voted them out. That's an example of getting stuff back. And, like D-Money said it, and Brother Muko said, what do we get out of voting? What tangibles are there? And that's the difference between when other groups say they're going to hold their vote out, we applaud that. Oh, that's a badge of, that's pride, and that's what you're supposed to do with your community. But let one of us do that, then you got your Roland Martins calling us, stupid and idiots, and they can kiss my ass and all that sassy stuff. You see the difference? But Roland Martin will give kudos to Elon Omar for the work she did for her people. But if we do the same thing, Rashida Tlaib has told her people of Palestine to hold out, we'll be considered idiots. And I just land on that.
All right. Thank you. Guys, up in the Jumbotron, we created our own little community. It's on the right-hand side. It's a Twitter community online. It's called the Black American Newsroom. It was a Newstoter room, but I want to go ahead and try to, because I want to get as many articles and newsworthy type things up in there. So anybody go ahead and join. Go ahead and start posting news-related articles, anything, whether it's news, it's entertainment, it's sports, it's culture, it's politics, it's education, anything concerning Black people. Go ahead and join the actual community. I think we got about 40 people up in that community. I just created it yesterday or the day before. We got 40 members. We want to see if we can get a few hundred at least, so we can go ahead and start posting more and more Black articles and news and stuff like that. And we can also go ahead, have our own little way of trying to go ahead and make some of this stuff go viral and get more attention on it as well too. So definitely go ahead and join the community, guys. Join the community. Go ahead and accept. It's up in the actual Jumbotron on the right-hand side. It's the second on the right. We got 40 members. Let's see tonight if we can at least get some of our people up in here. It's free to join, and it's right here on Twitter as well too. I'm posting stuff in there every day. I'm posting. I just post to the actual chat and to the actual main page of Twitter as well too, guys. So we definitely go ahead and we're trying to get as many followers, or I should say as many members in that actual community as well too, guys. So definitely go ahead and join. Help us help it grow, and so we can go ahead and have we could just be our own little Black news outlet community right here on Twitter as well too. Rella, I know Rella's probably still, if that dog threw up, she probably still cleaning that dog up as well too. So
no, I'm back. I'm here.
Oh, okay.
She just did it, so I got it before it saturated or anything.
Okay. Well, how you doing tonight, Rella?
Good. How are you guys? Shout out to the room.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to the co-host. I don't see Newstoter. They shadow banning these rooms. I don't know what's going on, because you know how normally it just comes up like right at the top. I don't even see our room.
That's what everybody was saying. They were saying that for the past week or so that they've been doing that. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but shout out to you definitely for keeping on rolling. Roland Martin, I saw the video with Jamal. I guess most people are, new to Jamal. I've seen Jamal and have known Jamal for a long time. Him and Tyrone they were the guys that came out when there was a lot of the videos about Black women being, assaulted in the nail salons. They were the ones hosting a lot of the protesting. They were all over social media, so he's not new. And Roland Martin he gonna be Roland Martin. He's only building up a platform, trying to get back into a position to get another bag. So I don't expect anything different out of him. And that's the sad thing, is that I believe that we have to be the ones to really stop, giving them the push that they're looking for. Stop giving them the, electronic push that they're looking for throughout social media. The other thing is the DNC convention. I let all them other people shut them down. Honestly, we really need to get our people galvanized from the grassroots, because the DNC, they're gonna do everything they can to get people symbolized under one symbolic banner, trying to, get people to vote one way or another, but won't talk about any specific policies. They won't even pinpoint or talk about address any of the committees that I talked about earlier, of the Congress people who are in office right now. She's not even mentioning any of the congressmen that would be in office for her to do anything if she decided to do anything, and even right now. So they're playing this shell game and hoping that they keep us, focused on a, political theater. That's what I call it. And it's really sad. Michael Eric Dyson, I guess he was arguing with that white woman about who Kamala's name and her being her not being respected. Well, I don't like what's her name, the white lady Mace or whatever her name was.
That's her.
What's her name?
That's her.
Was it me?
Yeah, I can't remember her first name. That's her.
Mace is a racist for real. Like she is. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like one of them things where you see racists for what they are, and then you also see people who be cooning. Maybe you see people who straight up be cooning, and you're sitting up there trying to argue with somebody instead of I would never sit there and tell her that she's a good person and also call her out at the same time. No, for what reason? No, you're a nasty person. And the mere fact that I got to sit here and that he has to sit there literally and try to defend Kamala because Kamala is not defending herself. The people who are out here trying to defend her is people who are from here. People who are American, Black Americans who swear up and down they for the culture and for the people. They're defending her more than she's defending herself. She's not even speaking up for herself. If she ain't calling herself Black or she not making that the issue, why can't they stay on task? Because they want a Obama effect with her. They want let's have the Obama effect and get people to vote for her based on popularity, but she can't win the popularity vote. And they want us to pay attention to all this other stuff when the real meat and potatoes is the committees. It's the people whose terms about to be up, who are getting ready to be elected in those committees. So whatever it is that she ain't putting up, you best believe she gonna either run off of the same stuff Biden did, or she's going to wait till she meet up with Trump during her, when they have their, I'll call it the face off, but you know what I'm talking about. When they have their debate, she's gonna wait till then. And at the end of the day, it's like we don't even need that much time. We really need to really pull out all stops, and the wild card needs to be the American people. We need to be the wild card for either one of these parties. Like real talk, they need to know that it's a toss up. It could go either way, and straight up the middle is where we need to lie and tell these people they got something tangible waiting for us on at the finish line. Even if it comes down to the 10th hour, that's how much we need to make them sweat. Like real talk. Stop allowing these people to use us like puppets. Stop allowing them to make you believe that they're going to do one thing and they come out and hand you their ass and give you the other. Everybody keeps bringing up how when Trump was in office, people money was right. No. The committees who had the majority of those committees, they were passing bills under his administration. He wasn't doing it. But we don't focus on those things. We focus on the figurehead. So now that we're focusing on the committee members, which are your congressmen, the people on your state, it's another ball game. It's another ball game. And I'm trying to tell y'all, we are the biggest queen on the chessboard. And we gotta make a move. And they need to sweat. Period. They need to be shaking in their boots. JD Vance should not be able to get online and talk no shit about black people and
language, Rella. Language. Sorry, yeah, I know. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I try to. I'm calming it down. To make it seem like he's talking to us as if we're one big American, national people. There are specifics that we all need. And the same with the DNC and anybody else, third party, all of them. We need to hear specifics. And anybody who comes in the space and you ain't Black American, what do you want? Like, do they even know? Because I know poor white people need something too, and they need to be trying to demand stuff too. Like, stop giving people your vote because they look like you or you don't like somebody. No, like this is war. This is war, and we need to act like it. And I'll end. Okay,
all right. Thank you, Rella. Okay, Israel, I see you that you said that you were trying to raise your hand, so I'll let you go ahead next. To raise your hand, you got to hit that circle button, that heart button. Excuse me. If you go, you hit that heart button, and then you'll see where it has the hand up on there.
Okay. All right. First of all, I wanted to say, Roland Martin doesn't like to talk to people that don't agree with him. If you don't agree with him, he's gonna throw. If you don't agree with him and he looks like us, he's gonna throw a fit, start calling you out your name, disrespecting you, but he's not gonna talk to anybody else like that. Hispanics, Ukrainians, Jews, white people. It's just with us. And to piggyback off what G Money was saying earlier, why do people have a fit when we do something and they do it? It's because we are set apart people. We are the world's trendsetters. We are held in a higher regard than anybody else. If they jump off a train, and we jump off a train, they're gonna be like, why don't black people jump off a train? But everybody else did, and it's okay. We just in a different space than everybody else. You pretty much say we illuminated. The DNC, all they going to provide for us is ratchet entertainment for FBA Americans. Michael Eric Dyson, he done turned commercial as cornflakes. I don't know what happened to him, but I used to love that guy. All these daggone people going on ESPN, Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith. They just coons. They getting the check. I used to have a lot of respect for Shannon Sharp up until that Kyrie Irving mishap or whatever. But everything's just getting out of hand. They just pretty much every black host on ESPN or sports radio, or sports talk, they double down on us when something happened to us or allegedly happened to us or something that we did allegedly. But they're not going to give nobody else that same energy at all. And with that, I land my plane.
All right. Thank you, Israel. Like I say, guys, up there in the Jumbotron, we got the community forum. So if you have not already join our online community here on X, on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Go ahead and join that. I've got my boy Professor up here as well, too. Before I kick it to Professor, I'm going to see what you want to say about these topics tonight. But I got to go ahead real quick and read a couple comments on YouTube as well, too. I got to read my man Nightfall. He says, Michael Eric Dyson is always sitting here apologizing for black men. Folks, get the F out of here. We can speak for ourselves. You are not the spokesperson for us, especially if you don't hold white people to the same accountability. Abdul said, regardless of who wins the presidency, Black American freedmen must establish our own American Freedmen political system, American Freedmen Caucus, American Freedmen Bureau, and other operations. Polo Styles says, it's the black boule that's keeping us FBA people back. The Greek fraternities and sororities and political positions, we have to start cleaning house. Nightfall also said, and that's the problem at Newstoter. They are only put on the show. They aren't willing to discuss solutions of black problems. So the heck with them. Okay, so shout out to our people over there on YouTube, giving us a nice little comments to kick up on. I said this before, the Democrats, I'm going to give them credit on the way they got this convention. Of course, I don't know how it's going to play out. I'm sure it's already on or coming on. I'm not sure if it came on at 9 or 8 or whatever, but give them credit. When I said earlier they were bringing out heavy hitters, they're bringing out some heavy hitters in the DNC. Think about it. Bill Clinton was one of the most popular presidents, even though he had the thing with Lewinsky or whatever. Bill Clinton was one of the most popular presidents Well, you're going to have Bill Clinton in the same. You're gonna have the last 3 Democratic presidents. Matter of fact, you're gonna have Bill Clinton. You're gonna have Barack Obama, and of course, you're gonna have Joe Biden there. Throw in the fact that you're gonna have Hillary Clinton there as well too. And we saw how close she came to the presidency when she lost to Donald Trump. Throw in the fact that you're gonna have Jim Clyburn there. They got what they consider a rising star, and Hakeem Jeffries there. They got Jasmine Crockett there. I believe, I'm not sure, don't hold me to it. I believe Nancy Pelosi's going to be there. Of course, they got Jim Clyburn there. So in terms of political power, star power, they're not wasting any energy on it. I think they feel they're looking at some of these polls around the country, and they say, well, you know what? We have this election at this point in time is anybody's election, is really close. Kamala Harris is in some polls she's leading Donald Trump, and in some polls, but I guess in the key battleground states she's neck and neck with him as well too. So give them credit. Give them credit. They're saying, you know what, if we're gonna lose, we're gonna lose with our A+ roster on the field. So like I said, they bring in and they got Michelle Obama's gonna be there as well too. So they're trying to get everybody who has clout, everybody who has prestige with the Democratic Party. They got them in place. They got them in place for this convention right here. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly, because we know how in all black people were. We talk about you talk about Obama, how black people loved Obama. Let's not forget that you had a bunch of black people in the 90s. We talk about Bill Clinton was the first black president ever. So that goes to show you, when Bill Clinton got up there on the Arsenio Hall show and he was playing the saxophone, all them Negroes was dancing and they was cutting the jig, and they was, I mean, you couldn't tell them that they long lost uncle wasn't running for the damn president. It was almost like that movie back in the day that when we was kids, they used to have Bruce's Million, where you had Richard Pryor playing, and then his long lost great white uncle left him like $100 million to spend within a certain amount of time. And if he's $20 million, if he spent it, and he was going to get $100 million, you couldn't tell him that Bill Clinton, that Willie Clinton wasn't a long lost uncle or whatever. And so you got Obama and you got Clinton in the house as well, with Michelle Obama, Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah, the Democrats, I think they kind of think that it may be blood in the water, that they can go ahead and they can capitalize on it. They think that, hey, Donald Trump, his constant personal attacks, instead of just going ahead talking about the actual, you got enough stuff politically you can talk about your record versus their record or whatever, but that they feel like he's bullying her and everything else too, like that. So they brought out some big guns, and even now Joe Biden is sitting up in, he's got a nickname for Donald Trump. I think he calls him Donald Dump or something like that as well too. So even Joe, as he's stepping out of the way, he's trying to throw little shots here and there as well too. So give him credit. Give them credit. They're pulling out all the stops. They're pulling out all the big time, all of the people that's got any kind of cachet with the Democratic Party. They're pulling them out right now. They're trying to go ahead and they're trying to win this thing. They're trying to drum up as much support as possible. They feel like this is going to be a tightly contested race that's going to come right down, to the finish line. And hey, I mean, like I say, how many conventions have you seen where you've seen 3 of the past parties' presidents that's going to be in the House for the same week? So, I mean, you got to go ahead and give them credit. I'm not sure, and maybe I missed it. I'm not sure if you had a Republican convention when you had 3 Republican presidents within the same, but I don't think so. Once Reagan left, I don't think Reagan, with his health and stuff like that, was campaigning for George Bush Sr. I don't think he was out there, whatever. So, I mean, we seen George W. Bush after he left office. He's pretty much been gone or whatever. So, hey, they're throwing out all of the big dogs that they got in the Democratic Party, trying to go ahead and use that and use the actual momentum they feel that Kamala Harris has gained since actually Joe Biden stepped down. They're trying to capture the moment. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this thing how it plays out here. So we got my girl Trouble up here. Trouble, what's going on with you tonight?
Hey, Newstoter. Shout out to the family in the cut tonight. What's good with everybody?
What's up, Miss Trouble?
Not a whole lot, just getting in, you know it. So, it's been a lot that's been said in the space tonight. I was driving and I was listening. I wanted to address a couple things, but my mind ain't 100% right. So, I just go on with the titles in the room. So, but you started off on the DNC convention, so it sounds like they got they Negro hitters front and center right now with all of the, the people that you just named. So everybody that you just named, they hoping that they can reel y'all Negroes back in and remind you, it's hope, and we gonna do the damn thing. So that's kind of funny that they got their all-star lineup of Negro slayers up in the cut. As far as Roland Martin is concerned, Roland Martin got what he got. Roland Martin's been cooning for a long time. He's been wagging his little sassy finger at the black community and doing what Roland does best. Like someone said earlier, when you disagree with Roland, he calls you out of your name. He goes for the low blow. He can't just disagree with you. You have to be a dummy. You have to be a dumbass. You have to be an idiot. You have to be a fool. You have to be a low information voter. And these are all of the talking points that they come out with every 4 years that there is a presidential election towards black people. Roland does it the best, though. And so it's high time Roland got called out for his foolishness. And to a certain degree, he started it with the brother. Him and the brother was having a disagreement. And the thing about these black folks that come out caping for the Democrats, they act like no one is even allowed to question the Democratic Party. So in essence, they have made the Democratic Party their God. You're not even allowed to question the Democrats, what they're doing, what their policies are. You're not supposed to break the policies down and look at it from unbiased opinion or from any other way than what they've told you that it's there for, without them sending their gatekeepers out to bite you down, to beat you down with their words and to try to shame you in any way possible. And I think really that has been the most revealing, not just this year, but it's been a long time coming. And we've all been paying attention to it for a very long time now. And so it's a sort of a reckoning to a certain degree, not so much with people, because as you stated earlier, people are still going to overwhelmingly vote for the Democrats for whatever their reason for voting for the Democrat is, because we've gotten comfortable with voting for the devil that we know. So those few people that they do stand to lose isn't really going to be consequential to that vote, but some reason they still come out. Why? Because they've been doing this for so long and we've been accepting it for so long. It's like a shock that a lot of people are starting to go skirt. And that's where the reckoning is coming in at. It's because now you have more people coming out against it. And of course, more people is because we're in the age of information. And the more of us are waking up, because more of us have access to this information now. We're sharing it a lot more. We're meeting in groups and we're having spaces about it. We're talking about it more on a different level than what we've talked about it before. So that's the reckoning part right there. And they just want to calm that and quell that all the way down, even though they know that the majority of people, just in case, let's go ahead and try to shame you back into your place. Because the truth of the matter is, even though a lot of us get on these spaces and we talk about the Democratic Party and this and that, a lot of us who's talking that talk about them still going to go to the polls and vote Democratic if they choose to vote. But they want to shame you and beat you upside the head in the process anyhow. So Roland got what he got. He deserved to get called out on it. He needs to get called out on it a little bit more. Now, had it have been me, and I'll say that because I don't want to judge how the brother makes his moves, maybe I wouldn't have done it in a church. Maybe I'd have waited to after church. Then again, it just depends on how the spirit moves. Maybe the Lord said, this is time to do it right now. Call him right now. Call him right now. So who knows? But I don't feel no ways about it. I know there was a conversation the last couple of days about it, and there are some folks who wasn't too happy with it and was saying that it was nonsensical and they just made themselves that they were trying to say Jamal made himself look bad. But I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it. I feel like he did what he did. and I ain't mad about it. And I'll just say that the DNC convention, you all was talking earlier about the protesters breaking it down or rolling up in there and doing what they do. And then somebody made the comment that said, watch pretty soon that the Palestinians will get policies because of how they're showing out, just how the Asians turned around and was able to get policies. Well, the only thing I can say about that is if that is the way to get policies, then maybe we need to start thinking of a different strategy. Maybe it's time to pop out and show a nigga, be a nigga and pop out and show them, just like everybody else been popping out and showing them and getting these policies, because we've been doing it one way. We've been trying to talk. We've been trying to reason. We've been trying to, endear them to our plight, to our pain, to the things that we need in our communities, and none of that has been working. So maybe it's time to go a different direction. Maybe it's time to tear some stuff up. Maybe it's time to show up in full force and disrupt. I don't know the answers, but I know that we can't keep doing the same things over and over, because it's not like these people don't know what we need. As Americans, and maybe that's how they're looking at it, as Americans, we all need things, but they aren't interested in giving any Americans, let alone Black Americans, any of the things that we need. And if you think about it, with the Democrat Party, they've been watching the Republican Party not give their base anything that they've needed forever now. They've been giving the elites and the corporations what they wanted, but the poor white folks that come out in droves to vote for Republicans, they don't get anything. So the Democrats is finally saying to themselves, you know what? We don't have to give them nothing. We don't even have to speak policies to them. We'll continue to give them Megan Thee Stallion. We'll continue to give them Steve Harvey. We'll continue to let Roland off of his leash. We'll continue to do the same things that we've always done. Have Black women come out and talk about how Black men need to be more loyal to the Black women. We'll have Eric Michael Dyson, somebody who was a scholar who was truly respected in the Black community at one point in time, come out and write a love letter to Black women apologizing for Black men when nobody asked you. Apologize for yourself. Nobody asked you to apologize for all the Black men. Got a lot of Black men in my life, and I don't remember none of them asking you to come out and apologize for them. Last time I checked, they speak for themselves. So you make your apology letter say apology for me, and men like me who's still trying to get that bag. Because we had to switch our strategy up, because we realized that being there for our people wasn't going to continue to allow us to get that bag. So we got to switch it up and get the bag. We got to still, pay for these homes that we done ran out there and bought $1 million homes, and they got to get paid for. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. I used to have a lot of respect for Michael Eric Dyson, the Tavis Smileys of the world, and even the brother who's running for president now, Cornel West. I used to love to hear them brothers get on there and talk that talk. And they would come with so much passion about the Black community with their big words. And now it's just thoroughly disappointing, because everybody has realized where the bag is. And it's not being a collectivist in that way. Being an individual gets them the bag on a large scale. So I just think we got to switch the strategies up. And that's all I have to say about that, because y'all know I'm long-winded like a mug. But I love y'all Black people. Keep your head up. We're going to get through this. And one love.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Trouble. I hear your voice, like you still trying to get your voice back. So hopefully you get over, you'll get back 100%, because I can hear your voice still not quite as strong as it normally is. But definitely get you enough rest and medicine and whatever you need to get in trouble. But it's always good to hear from you, as always. We go ahead and get to, we got the Atman. We get to the Atman real quick. Let me give a shout out to Coach T for the contribution on Cash App. Thank you, Coach T. The Atman, go ahead, and then Professor, I got you next. I see you up there with your hand up. I ain't forgot you, Professor.
Thank you for inviting me up to speak. Regarding
Jamal and Roland Martin. I don't know Jamal. Kind of seen him around on Twitter a little bit. Don't know nothing about him. But he out here beefing with some dude who is, as far as I'm concerned, a nobody. And I'm a black gay man, and Roland Martin out there, twerking his ass and bouncing, and he just ain't. What's he beefing with somebody out there who's just out there looking for clout, trying to get his bag from the Democratic Party and stay relevant? I'm like, why are you gonna lower yourself to that level? I mean, I ain't trying to get into name calling, but Roland Martin ain't nothing but I call him sassafras. He's sassy and he out there twerking. What you beef with somebody like that for? Why you lowering yourself to that level? If you're gonna, why you got the beef in the first place? If you're gonna have her, do something constructive. And if you want to be out there and confront somebody, then confront somebody who's on your level, and make it about something constructive. It's like, I saw the little beef go on in the church, and I'm like, okay, why are you beefing in the church, and why you got to go and roll up on somebody who got to have a woman step in front of him and defend him? I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, dude, you're looking weak. I said, like, if you looking for respect, you ain't got mine. Talking about Jamal, and I don't know the dude. I ain't got no beef with him. Ain't like he did something, and I'm like, I gotta, get even with him. I don't know the dude. I mean, he sounded like he's about his business, but he just lost some stars. If he had 5 stars before, he just dropped to like 2. I'm like, dude, what you doing? Let's man up. Roland Martin ain't nothing but I just like, what the hell? I just have to leave it at that. I'm gonna tip my hat to that right now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, man. Thank you. I think a lot of people kind of were saying something similar to what you're saying, that, basically Roland Martin, it's like the old expression, just a bunch of hot air. So I guess a lot of people are saying, hey, don't even waste your breath on it. Only issue I would have with it was that, hey, and Trouble made a point of that before too, like, hey, maybe not bring that into the church, whatever. I know everybody's not religious and everything like that as well too, but respect the sanctity of the house, because you do have you have church going people up in there, you have women, you have kids, you have families. So try not to actually bring that to the actual church. Now, if you saw him at another event, or you were going to go someplace outside the church and you wanted to actually have a conversation with him, I say definitely go ahead and have a conversation. But I said it before when we started this space, and then I was like, well, let's not get to the point. And I know sometimes everybody's temper flies and stuff, especially on social media. But let's not get to the point that, hey, we're going to get to the point where somebody may physically get hurt. I don't want anything like that. And I know, and I don't believe he came there with the intentions to actually get anything physical. But sometimes things do happen. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, people say things, and then it goes sideways. But I would definitely say, if you're going to have a conversation, even a political conversation, let's not have it in the church. Maybe have it someplace else like that. I don't have an issue with him stepping to him and he say, what, I kind of didn't like the way you were talking, or, respectfully, this is my point of view. You have your point of view. I don't see the point for name calling and all kind of stuff like that as well. But we know Roland Martin, Roland got a slick mouth on him too now. Let's be for real here. Roland will say some stuff, and he will, name call people as well too. So, we know that a lot of stuff that goes on social media, when people behind a screen and everything else like that, a lot of this stuff in real life, if you had to be face to face with a lot of people and stuff like that, a lot of people bite their tongue. They wouldn't actually say a lot of the stuff that they actually say online. But when you're online, people feel like, hey, there's this wall of protection here, and I can say what I want to say because I may be hundreds, if not thousands of miles from this other person I'm speaking to. So sometimes that kind of stuff happens as well.
Why are you going to let somebody provoke you? I mean, it's one thing to be, I'm not out here looking for respect, but I'm not going to let somebody disrespect me. So I get that, but at the same time, if people know you can be provoked, they're going to know how, that you're weak and know how to get at you. That's all Jamal did is she showed that, okay, I can provoke this guy. All I do is call him a few names and he's going to, come unhinged. So to me, it's like, dude, you lost some poise because you just showed me how weak you are. You showed me how I can provoke you, get under your skin. You gotta, keep yourself together, at least in public.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of people they agree with what you're saying as well too. Of course, some people thought that he was justified, but there are people that agree with what you said. They say, hey, you know what? It's not even worth the time. If you're gonna do it, do it a different way as well too. So you can look at, and like I say, Roland says a lot of stuff. You can look at Roland's face. Roland's not gonna. He's not gonna get any kind of confrontation with anybody like that, especially somebody that's probably half his age as well too. So you just don't want anything to just boil over to the point, and then you don't want to be up in and how everybody records everything as well too. You don't want to have that in the actual church. If that was outside of the church in another setting or something like that, I don't think as many people would have a problem with it. I didn't have an issue with him. Like I said, I don't have an issue with you actually coming up to the man, talking to him like man to man, like, hey, apparently there was an issue between us online or whatever. I felt that you were being disrespectful. You came into my post and you started name calling me and this and that or whatever. And then some people say, you know what? It's not even worth it. Just forget it. Don't even bring it up. Move on. Do what you got to do, because no matter what you say, Roland, he's going to do what he's going to do. And Roland is diehard Democrat, and he makes no secret about it. And he's going to stay that way. And, if and it's to the point now, if you're black and you're not voting Democrat, then people are going to question you. They question your blackness. Now, they can question your blackness and your commitment to black people, but you can't question Kamala Harris's blackness and her representing black people as well too. So it's like a double-edged sword on that behalf right there. They can question you and your blackness and sincerity, but you can't sit up here and question a woman who, when it's convenient, she's black and then she's Asian and then she's this and that or whatever, but you can't question that. So I find that a little bit peculiar right there. Professor, what's up? I see you up in here. Go ahead, Professor. You got it. Anybody else that wants to speak? Shout out. I see Dana down there. Shout out to Val as well, too. Shout out to all you guys up in the space tonight. Go ahead, Professor. You got it.
Yeah, thank you, brother Newstoter, man. Good to see everybody up in here. The Newstoter family in the house. I'm glad to see everybody. I'm glad I got the chance to hear a lot of you come up to say what you need to say about Kamala, the whole debacle with Roland Martin and Jamal, and then, of course, this simp, Michael Eric Dyson. You talk about one of the classic simps of all time. My partner, DJ, he's not up in here because, me and him, we go in on these simps. Newstoter, he right there with us, too. But even, Newstoter is a little bit more calm about how he said, but DJ and I express ourselves when it comes to these men that's out here simping the way Michael Eric Dyson is. The love letter. I sat there and I watched that video and I said, this man is a disgrace to men to be speaking on our behalf, talking about how we don't respect, we have not shown protection, and we have not stood up for black women. A bunch of lies, man, because what have black men have done in this country for years when we have been on the front line and have gotten killed and lynched from trees? And who you think has been on the front line? Who you think of the men that's gotten shot, assassinated? We talking about Medgar Evers. We talk about Malcolm X. We talked about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Who are the men who have gotten killed on the front line? Can I name Fred Hampton? Can I put him up there? Now, there's some sisters that have gotten hurt in the mission as well, but it's always been men that's been killed out here on this front line. Okay? And so when I see these simps, like a Michael Eric Dyson that keeps doing this stuff, and Roland Martin and all the rest of them, they dividing our people, because black women we know are a very special group of women. We know this. We love our black women. We do what we can to protect our black women. We also know there are some faulty black women. You know, just like there's some faulty black men. But for the like-minded black men and like-minded sisters, we come together because we talk about black unity, right? We want to be unified in unison, trying to make sure we do what's best for our black children, our black families. And this is not what Kamala is about. This is not what Michael Eric Dyson is about. And this is not what Roland Martin is about. They're not about the collective unit, the black family, bringing black men and black women together so we can make those pretty babies, black children, right? They're not trying to do that. This guy, Michael Eric Dyson, sits up on a video like black men have not done a damn thing in this country, right? But all he wants to talk about how we have failed black women. That's what he did. He's a simp that comes to divide the community. Roland Martin is a fat, greasy black walrus that divides the community. That's what he is. And if you notice in that video with Jamal, because Jamal confronted him like a man, shout out to Jamal. He confronted him like a man, but what did that simp, fat, greasy walrus do? He backed up and put a black woman in front. So do you think he protecting black women? He put up, did y'all see the video, right? He had a black woman in front of him. So should that have been a man-on-man thing? Yes, that should have been a man-on-man thing. But he put a sister in front to be his protector. So I want to hear from the sisters in here right now who saw the video. What do you think about Mr. Fat Morris Roland Martin? Did he protect black women there? Did he stand right there in front of that sister to protect her? So I want you all to understand what we're dealing with here are simps that are coming into the community, democratic shields that are keeping us divided. When we are in here as like-minded collective unit that's trying to make sure that we have the collective together for black unity, baby. That's what we trying to do. That's what time we are on. And that's not what time they are on. They on this whole division thing. Black men over here and black women over there. So I want you all to just tell me, for the sisters, that video, what did you think about when Jamal confronted that fat, no good Roland Martin? He put a black sister, black woman, because I don't know if she was an LPA sister. Now, she could have been a non-LPA sister, but still, he put a black woman in front of him. And I'm going to land right there.
All right, Professor, you bring up a good point as well, too. So I definitely want to hear what they got to say. And anybody else in the listener section that want to come on up here and speak as well, too, guys, feel free to come on up here, request a microphone, and we will get you up here. Miss Rella, go ahead. You got it.
Thank you, Toter. So, Professor, I'm going to answer your question. So in that respect, no, the woman was not being protected. But I don't want to make this into a black men don't recognize protection or don't know when to protect black women, because they most certainly do. People get into the heat of the moment type situations, and is it inappropriate? Yes. Are there ways to disengage and what is it called? What's the word? Look at my words. De-escalate. Yes, there is. And I love the fact that Trouble did point it out too. Could it have been done in a different setting and knowing when to read the room? Because he did at the moment say, "Give me 1 second." He was going to go talk to someone else. And if you've been around Roland Martin, which I have, he came to my church. He's definitely full of himself. He walks around as if everybody wants his attention, or like he got paparazzi running after him, and that's certainly not the case. I really think that, again, these are the things that keep us in a space where we are off track and we get sidestepped. And so it leaves us in a space where we are doing exactly, kind of what these people want us to do. They want us to look at each other and demonize each other. And yes, do we have coons? Do we have people who are very problematic? Yes, we do. But in the grand scheme of the small time that we have with each other, we have to really be getting each other to a point where we can help each other focus on the task at hand. If we are less than 100 days out to election, and you got both the Democratic, and the Republican Party platform talking about no policy, no tangibles, but they are, they just mudslinging on each other and making sure that that's all we hear. We have a problem. We got a problem, Will Robinson, because it's almost as if like they're making it like they don't really have to vote. They already know who's going to win, and we just going to go along to get along. And I say, if they've already chosen who's going to win the election, then everyone who's on the local level that serves in those committees that work with the president in the legislative branch for Congress, we need to make sure they lose their seats. Like, when I'm talking about going after pinpoint focused things, I really mean it. I really think that we have to bring the conversation back in full circle, because they think that all we're going to do is spend time on controversy, and we're not going to talk about focus things that impact us as Americans, and especially Black Americans. We know our number one thing is definitely reparations, protected class status, and as well as reparative, a compensatory justice system. We also know that there is levels in place in order to get that. Presidents appoint Supreme Court justices, or nominate Supreme Court justices, and then the Supreme Court can also kick stuff back down to Congress for Congress to make a decision for us. What have they done in retrospect to bills that have been put back into the Congress's hands? Well, the bill about police brutality and impunity, that needs to be revisited, because the Supreme Court said they didn't want to deal with it, so they kicked it back down to Congress. Congress never picked that bill back up. They never went ahead and decided to say, okay, yeah, we want to go ahead and revisit this bill. So if I have to choose between the two duopolies that are running for office, everyone who's not up for re-election on the state level, that's the House and Senate, loses their seat, because that means that they have not done their job. Right now, and I've said this before, Kamala is the figurehead. She is the shining thing. The shining thing vice president. She's not the one that's impacting us daily. She's just a shining thing. And the people who are in the House and the Senate right now, that's Democrats and Republicans. If you don't know who your senator is, you don't know who your House of Representatives are in your state that make up the House of 500 some votes, you need to get on the ball. We have to make them pay. And I'm all about the big hurt, the big payback. James Brown, I hear it playing in my head every time we have these conversations, because it has to get real, that real. Roland Martin ain't talking about that. He's not talking about, he's only concerned about us calling her, saying she's not black, which is true. Those are the only things they want to keep us. It's like they want to keep us sucked in like little parasites, and hoping we don't get off the hamster wheel. Let's stay on long enough, because the election gonna come. They ain't gonna know what to do, and then they'll just pick whoever or go sit on the couch, and we'll just have to deal with whoever votes. That's literally what the culture has been. We have to make them pay. I really believe it would be a shock to the political system if we get to a point where people in America are like, listen, we not seeing what we want. We don't want none of y'all. We picking straight down the middle. Or if for the people who are the non-voters, God, Art is probably going to be like, yeah. But non-voters, we'd be like, yeah, we all going to be non-voters, because if we not non-voters, then there you have it. We'll know right then and there it's rigged, because they already had decided who was going to win. But if we get to a point where we can really work like the ants and work like the bees do, and we make them pay not only for national, but we make them pay on a local and state level, then they know that we're no longer dealing with we're not going to take any more of this political theater anymore. These are the type of conversations they don't want to have. Why do you think Elon Musk got them rigging this daggone Twitter the way that he's rigging it? He's a whole immigrant himself. And all of a sudden, we can't even get to one another or can't see any of the spaces that are normally propped up at the top. And normally, running numbers where we got so many people in and out of spaces that they're hearing us in our conversation, right? Making it difficult for us to have the conversation. All by design. Trump ain't going to get rid of immigrants. Why? Elon Musk is an immigrant. He's not putting up anything to go ahead and put nobody out, especially not Elon Musk, especially if Elon Musk came out and said he was going to support him in whatever way he was going to support him. We have to look at the big picture. These people are for the money, and if they for the money, we better act like we for the money too. That means if you want my vote, I need to be hearing something, and I need to know who you're going to work with to do it. I don't want to hear, I'm going to make sure, I do X, Y, and Z. You're the president. You can't do shit. Excuse me. I'm sorry, Newstoter. I apologize, YouTube world. You can't do nothing. All of the work comes from the House and the Senate, and all you do is sign the bill unless you got to sign executive orders, and that's what you're going to be doing. And if that's the case, we'll take that too. Reparations on the chopping block, day one. Like, we have to be that specific. And I need the poor white people to be on. They so quiet. The algorithm is definitely, triggered, and they got it so that they only see certain things. You don't hear them talking about none of that. They talk about the same stuff in their spaces. Symbolism. I care about Trump because he was almost taken out of this world. He was, his ear was bleeding. He had to the point where they had the people sitting up front in the RNC with the patch on their ear. I'm telling you, it's almost like you looking at one and the other, and they literally are playing people like they playing us like what's them pickup Newstoter? What's that? Remember that old school game with the marbles? Yeah, with the marbles.
Old school game with marbles.
You used to drop them, and then you could see how much you could pick up before the ball bounce again. Anyhow.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't think. I know what you're talking about. It wasn't marbles though. It wasn't marbles, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, not pickup sticks. Was it pickup sticks?
Oh,
one of them games.
And one of them.
I'm just saying that's how they bounce. They throwing us around like yo-yos or like we in a circus. That's how they doing us. And if we want to get off of this circus, we have to make them hurt. And right now they not hurting. They not, because they feel like they got it in the bag. Both of these parties got it in the bag, the duopoly.
Jax. That's what they said online. Jax.
There you go.
That's I know.
So,
Yeah.
I knew. Yes. And I'll land there.
Thank you, Rella. We got FAA is on YouTube. FAA is kind of mad. Says that's all you niggas do is complain and don't have any solution. None factor asses. So I guess FAA is kind of upset with everybody over here. So
I guess he didn't hear none of my solutions. Well, he gonna have to stay mad.
I'm sorry about that, FAA.
Yeah, who is FAA anyway? Hey, wait a minute. Isn't that the Federal Aviation?
That means he works for the FAA and he's using that as a background, old dummy.
Trying to get a cape, they'd be Superman.
You go ahead and get to Trouble, and then Israel, I got you again as well. To Trouble, go ahead, you got it.
Tell FAA to take 2 of these and call us in the morning. You be all right in the morning. Rella, I just want to point out, Newstoter and Professor for the space, that Rella is more long-winded than me, and I just want to say that because Rella can go, and she said everything that I was going to say, and I don't even remember what I was going to say because Rella said it all. But what
show me your mess.
But what I will say is that sorry, Kamala being black or non-black is inconsequential. We're not gonna get any policies based on whether she's black, and we're not gonna get any policies based on whether she's not black. We spent way too long discussing that big distraction burger, and that's what that was. That was a distraction burger, and it continues to be a distraction burger because it does nothing for us, left or right. So I'll be glad when we can all stop discussing her blackness or lack thereof. All of the black women in the DNC that just want her to be black so bad, it's because they love symbolism, and they're like the Trump voters. They don't need anything more than symbolism, and they need her. They need her to be black, as about as black as they needed Obama to be black, because they need that symbolism to validate their coup. So let them have that. But at the end of the day, it does nothing for us. Professor, you wanted to know about the sister protected Roland Martin. Well, the sister put herself in that position. Roland didn't ask her to jump in between. She decided to jump in between. So I don't feel any ways about it. And so I'm like Rella on that point. I'm not going to make this a black woman or a black male thing, because sometimes, you know, we jump in between stuff that we ought not jump in between. And that's what that sister did. But if that's what she felt she needed to do to de-escalate the situation, then more power to her. Because sometimes we have to be the ones to step in a situation to de-escalate it when we see where it could go with our brothers, and vice versa with our brothers when they see it happen with us sisters. So I don't feel any ways about that, left or right. So I'll just say that, and yeah, I'll be done with it.
All right, thank you, Miss Trouble. I got to read this comment real quick from FAA again, because FAA is mad over there. FAA says all negative. First FAA says I spoke facts, and I'll talk about the solutions. Then follow up says all negative talking points and no accountability. Both parties don't care about us. I think we're in agreement with that. Nobody's here saying that either one of these parties love us, FAA. So I mean, there's no love lost either way with the Democrats, Republicans over here. So I mean, I don't really. And if you have any solutions that you can tell us, you know what's gonna ail the black community and everything else, and definitely go ahead on YouTube and definitely go ahead and post all of the stuff you said that's gonna ail the heal the black community as well too. James says, FAA, speak up, don't get online, say something and get scared. We're trying to check your temperature and get you to call up with your solutions. I mean, real talk. I mean, if you got these solutions, FAA, by all means, share it with us or whatever. And you can always make your way over here to one of these Twitter spaces that we hold. You can come on up in here and you can educate us as well, too. So feel free. And, you know, I will give you the microphone. Sit back and listen to what you got to say before I actually go ahead and respond, or anybody else responds as well too. So anytime you like to come over here, somebody over there on YouTube can always drop the link over here to the Newstoter Twitter space, and you can come on over here. You can join, raise your hand. We'll get you up here. You can speak as well too. So let me go ahead and get to the Ant-Man. The Ant-Man, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you. Isn't Roland Martin a Haitian? I'm not. If he is, why are we putting him on the level of being Black American and putting any stock into what he says about us to any degree? As far as I know, he's Haitian. He's not one of us. He's not like us. And one thing Roland said when she was speaking, and if I got it wrong, then Roland, please, by all means, correct me. You talked about reparations, executive order, etc. In other words, someone signing it into effect. Special Order 15 was overturned. Executive orders can be overturned. Legislation can be overturned by the Supreme Court. To me, the only way we're going to get it and make it stick is that if it becomes a constitutional amendment and amend Amendment 13. I'll stick with 13. Otherwise, the next election, it'll be overturned. I'm not sure where to go. And this is not a reparations space, but she didn't mention reparations, so that's why I'm bringing it up. I'll tip my hat there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
His answer about what Roland Martin is not Black American. He is a bad greasy Morris. That's what he is. That's his language.
I think.
He has one parent that is. He has one parent that is. His second parent, the grandmother, was Haitian, and so yeah.
Because Martin isn't a Haitian name, so he had to have somebody on one side of his family that was Haitian.
Yeah, his grandmother. I think he brought that up in the conversation, but that goes back to even the Kamala thing. And I get what you're saying, Ant-Man. So it's not that I think we shouldn't listen to him, because you have people like Javon Scott Lewis, who was on the commissions for the Reparations Task Force in California, and he's a professor, and he was able to cognitively pinpoint and talk about the importance of reparative issues for lineage base, and he was not speaking in a detractive or negative way like Roland Martin does. So I think that's why we have to be the voice of reason. It's because of the simple fact that people who are from or have their adjacent to other things want to still be included into this one big Black African conversation, instead of us having the compartmentalized conversation of we're talking about lineage based when we speak about reparations. But to my point about answering FAA, I did mention solutions. And I just said earlier that you target your state representatives. If we don't get policy from the president works with the legislative branch. The president is not in the legislative branch. Judicial. That's a different branch. So at the same time, my solution was you make sure on the next cycle of elections that are coming up that you get the people in office that are in office now on the House and Senate, and you get them out of the paint. If we don't get what we want out of the presidents that are running, or the people who are running for president, as we have not been getting anything, make Congress pay. That's a solution. That's pressure. Because now the president does not have a Congress that will work with them, that would do for them, because the people said, you ain't doing. We ain't doing. They tired of us. They want you got to paint. Ilhan won because she got they have a community that made sure they fought for her and voted for her. She got with the guy she with. They ran around, was talking about how they gonna do for the people out there, even so much so that Tim Walz, he didn't even care that the state flag looked like a whole nother country flag. Because they are working in tandem. So if that's one state gone, we have to figure out, okay, well, the other 49 states, we got that to work with until we can get Tim Walz out the paint and put somebody else in that's going to fix Minnesota if we can. Because remember, it's population numbers. Based on population numbers and the people who can vote, that's the reason why immigrants are important for both the Republican and the Democratic Party. Because they both know that people are wising up to the fact that Americans are suffering in this country. And you're bringing people in here and you're spinning them up as if it's nothing. And then they're showing us pictures of people on their way up from South America all the way up here. And then they got the I can't wait till you do this Space News tour on the Venezuelan gangs, because they moving up in there in them white communities. And I want to see them Klansmen and all them, white boys who wanted to drag people behind cars and string people up, and all these people that's in the police department. How are they going to respond now that the Venezuelan gangs are here? Because the cartel was a different culture. They're all up and through America, but they move different. They quiet because they want their money long. You talking about Venezuelan gangs who even other Latinos are coming out saying they not us. They not us, and they will risk it all to take over territory. So I'm wondering how they gonna move when it comes to that, because they online crying right now. So again, we still got to do what we got to do to get our protection. Point blank in the period. So if FAA don't have no input on that, and he can't speak on policy for himself or herself, if that is a real person, then stop complaining about black people getting together and having a conversation. Maybe that's what is the problem. Y'all not used to your elders or your family members talking and having a conversation, that your ears start to bleed when you hear black people talk. Because you really think that all we supposed to focus on is Sexy Red, Drake, Kamala not being black, and we're not supposed to have a cognitive centered discussion. This is what it looked like. Michael Eric Dyson, I wanted to speak on that. He himself, it's really sad, because when you hear black men love on black women, and you hear it in a way that comes at a time where it comes at a time where it's kind of off-putting. It's almost like you pandering, right? And then you can't appreciate when a black man actually is speaking facts. And Michael Eric Dyson was a man that was highly respected, and he probably still in his own circle and in his own head. But at the end of the day, now it makes it seem like we can't even have real discussions from people in those places, like Trouble said, because now it's about symbolism. Now it's about they wanted to usher us back into that barnyard to keep us, strangled and held tightly and shut-lipped and not say anything. And so it's a catch-22, but it's really sad, because I can't even appreciate Kamala running for president in the way that she became in the position she is in, because she's not protecting Black Americans. She's not putting up policy that's going to protect us. She did a video, if y'all didn't see it, on her first, I think her first or second commercial. And it shows these white kids in this area where she's, she's targeting 18 to 24-year-olds, but they're looking at kids that are in high school. And no Black kids were in that video. No Black American kids were in that video. And these kids were happy. They were, you can tell they have joy in them. They're holding up her signs and stuff. But then when you look at our kids, and you look at the struggles you go through for those of us who are parents, and you're seeing the issues with the busing and how the bus drivers don't have attendants and they need support on for buses. They need additional people to drive buses, but they don't want to pay bus drivers a livable wage. And then you look at how homelessness, veterans are on the street and it's out of control. And you see how the struggle is for families who are the working poor. And you can't even appreciate this person being in a position, not even just as a black woman, is she not, but as a woman. Like, damn, if we supposed to be the nurturers and the carers of the world, how is it that you're vice president now and you haven't fixed the stuff or put something in place to make me even want to believe that you have the power to do something? That's deep within itself. The solution would be stop thinking that these people are going to band-aid our emotions for a vote. Make them pay, because we have suffered enough. They have taken enough from us. It's time to take it all back. And I land.
All right. Yeah, you kind of are long-winded, sweetie, but we do enjoy hearing your points of view as well too. But you definitely you can definitely go. I'll give you that, Rella. Let me go ahead and get to we're gonna get to Ben Israel. Anybody else wants to speak? Come on up here. We ain't gonna keep the space going too much longer. I'll give a shout out to my man Trenton Makes for the contribution on Cash App as well too. But I definitely like hearing when Trouble and Rella come up here as well too. I like hearing the sisters come up here as well too. I know we didn't get many today, but sometimes we'll get more depending on the topic or whatever. But I do like to hear the sisters talk up here because the fellas, they always come up here and speak as well too. But I do like having the sisters come up here, and I like to hear different points of views as well too. So I do like to hear different points of views from different people as well too. So let me go ahead and get to you. Got it, Ben Israel. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I'd like to give it up to everybody tonight. Y'all did the thing. Y'all put it in. Y'all got it going on. First of all, I'm gonna start out with FAA. If you have something to contribute, just come on, join the X space or whatever. Newstoter, you already knew I was on YouTube a minute before I came on X. So that's for that. Another thing, most FBAs are in an abusive, submissive relationship with the Democratic Party. It's vote blue no matter who, don't ask no questions, this, that, and the other. Another thing is, I really think Kamala's numbers are not what, it's not as great as people say it is. It's mostly propaganda. Jasmine Crockett, she's a big Biden supporter. The thing about that is, if you support somebody wholeheartedly like that, you support their policies. If Kamala Harris is reelected, we're going to get 4 more years of the last 3.5 years that we done got. And we already know that's in the toilet. I don't know if y'all seen this interview or not. This guy named Jamal Trulove, he was convicted by Kamala Harris for a murder that he didn't commit. She had the evidence that could free him, didn't present it to him. He did 6 years on death row. And the interview asked him, he got $13.5 million. The interview asked him would he do it again. He said anybody would do it again, but if you going in, no one thinking that you got the death penalty, nobody take that deal. And another thing, I got into a discussion with one of my coworkers the other day. I don't start political conversations unless it's watching me. This guy older than me, he brought up a conversation about Kamala Harris or whatever, and he kept saying Trump racist, this, that, and the other. So I started bringing out Kamala's track record her history and things that she just said on video. He didn't want it. He gonna crank his truck up and pull off this, that, and the other. And he said, I was telling him about, how they flooding the country with migrants. They're here to replace the FBAs as the workforce. He said because they lazy. I was like, wow. But he's one of those vote blue no matter who. And basically he contradicted himself several times during that conversation. I looked at him, I told him, I said, brother, you wrong, you know you're wrong, but you too proud to say you're wrong. Why give your vote away for nothing? I understand, people, it'll turn into a cliche statement. People died so we can vote. Nah, people died because they were trying to fit into a system that didn't want them. That's why they died. They didn't say, I'm going to get up this morning, go die, get killed, so I can vote. But a lot of people, you can't tell that. My mother's one of them people. Most of my aunts and uncles are those people. I'm looked at like pretty much the black sheep. Well, when you're the black sheep of the family, you're pretty much the chosen person of your family. Because everybody else not going to think like you think. Just because your family doesn't believe in what you believe in, that don't make them your family. That makes them your relative, your family. Y'all my family. Because we pretty much on the same wavelength. With that, I land my plane. Y'all have a blessed night.
All right. Thank you, Israel. Appreciate you coming up here tonight as well, too. Guess we'll go ahead and ready to go ahead and close. Okay. I'll let no taxation. I'll let you be the last speaker for the night. Go ahead, you got it. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. Thank you, Newstoter. Hi, everybody in the room. I hope everybody is well. I'm glad I'm the last person, and I don't want to do a recap. I'm going to go back and listen to everything. I tried to get up in here because I think it's an important conversation, especially, I wanted to hear everybody's thoughts about how did they feel about the Roland Martin situation with Jamal and that kind of stuff. What was the consensus of that, News?
What was that? No tax about the situation with Jamal and Roland.
What was the consensus of the room? Agreed or not?
The room, most of the people in the room agreed. They didn't have an issue with it. Nobody wanted to see any kind of physical harm, anything like that. We had a couple people. I know the Ant-Man. He was kind of to the point that he didn't think it was worth Jamal's time to go ahead and engage and with Roland to that degree right there. But I think most people in the room didn't have an issue with it. Certainly, like I say, nobody wanted to see any physical altercation, anything take place. And as Trouble said too, it could have been done at a different place, not at the church, but maybe a different setting, and that would have actually been a lot different, and people would have had it would have went better with people. I think for the most part, had it been at a different environment.
I wanted to see Jamal knock that nigga out. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, no, I didn't want to see that. And I'm gonna be honest. I didn't want to get to the point that they had it on camera, and then they talk about a black man went up into a church and he hit this other black and Roland Martin. And I didn't want to see that because I could imagine the actual articles and the press and everything else, how bad it would have looked. So I'm glad it didn't get to that point. But go ahead, no tax.
Yeah, I kind of agree, and I'll tell you why. First of all, the church is supposed to be sacred, and so even if the people who own the church or running the church or the pastor, head pastor, the deacons, even if they're not being holding the space as something sacred, then we should, and that's a personal thing because my whole thing in life is I left you better than I found you. And as long as I'm clear with God, I'm good. And so, I agree. I think it needed to be done because I think it was on his mind, and that was something he felt he needed to do. And if he had done it in the church, there's a way, and I'm going to give y'all a tip because I've had to pull many a politician to the side, okay? And they're not politicians in that church, but I'm just saying, people with power. Not that Roland has any, but anyway. If you need to pull somebody to the side and you're in a situation like that, you really don't want nobody to know, hold your hand out and make it look like you want to shake their hand. Because that looks like you come to welcome them. And as you're shaking the hand, then you say, I need to speak to you in private. Let's go over here. And I think that would have been a better look. You know what I'm saying? But he had to do whatever he felt he had to do because it was on his mind. So, you know, who are we to say anything about how somebody is moving, especially when they've been offended? So that's that thing. I was looking at the DNC convention, and I'm here to tell y'all, next up is going to be Alexandria Cortez. She got the biggest round of applause and standing ovation. They're going to, after Kamala and this dude right here, when they get through with them, next up on the Democratic stage is going to be her and Buttigieg. Because then you got the straight Latino woman, and you got the gay white man. See? And that's what they'll do, because that's where they try to get this country to look a certain sort of kind of way, and those two fit right into what their overall plan is. But that's interesting. And I didn't understand anything about Michael Eric Dyson when he put that thing out there. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. Michael Eric Dyson, I don't know, something happens when people get old. I guess it ain't happened to me yet. But people lose, he's kind of lost his flavor. I wish if his brother is still alive, I wish he'd go visit him. You know, his brother is in prison for murder, for life. And so he needs to go have a word with him, because I'm pretty sure that's where the wisdom is. It used, Michael L. Dyson used to be okay, but I don't know what's going on with him. Either it's old age, and he's turned sour, or now his wife is a big Republican, y'all. Or he just can't take it no more. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to go back and listen to the Spanx. Thanks, dude. Newstoter. Lord, this happened earlier today with you. Can you hear me?
I can hear. You might have got a phone call and stepped away.
Yeah. Earlier today, Brother Buko and we didn't know Rella had stepped away, but we kind of figured she stepped away because she was listening. I promise you it was like 15 minutes.
My bad. I'm sorry. I kind of was up in the matrix.
Don't worry about it. I'm done.
All righty. Well, on that note, y'all, we're going to go ahead and close it out for the night. So we will be back tomorrow night, matter of fact. So we'll see y'all then. Everybody be safe, peace, and thank you for everybody who spoke tonight, listened, and came to the space. Good night.
Night.